Hello, I'm still moving houses, so please enjoy my shitty setup again. Recently I was clearing out all my old Magic cards that I had just lying in a box, including sealed product, when I found an old conspiracy pack just lying right at the bottom of this tub. So I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna crack it. For anyone that doesn't know what conspiracy is, it was a really weird draft set that came out like over 10 years ago now, which was pretty much like the first Commander draft style things that Wizards were testing out. Besides the actual conspiracy cards themselves, which we'll talk about in this video, there wasn't really much of note in this set. Nothing really over like $15, nothing that was really memorable to me. Except for, of course, Exploration, the most expensive card in the set. This is my brain trying to figure out that I just packed it with like a 3-second delay. So yeah, that was pretty lucky. So today I'm just going to talk about what conspiracy cards are, and my experience I had drafting this set with Casual Compliance about 6 months ago now. Also, I have a Discord now, so please feel free to join. There's like one guy in there now, so shout out to him. And yeah, I'll see you in there. Exploration is a green enchantment which was first printed in Urza Saga way back in 1999, which was before I was born, by the way, so sorry about that. And it reads one simple line of text. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. It's pretty simple stuff. Now this effect is super powerful, especially if you have a landfall commander deck or something that really cares about just putting more lands on the battlefield, which is why this card is expensive and why it holds up all the way to this day. I also learned that this effect can actually stack with other cards that say you can play an additional land on your turn, which is really neat. Having the ability to play this card on turn 1 can really set you up for a banging opening, especially if you have a way to fill your hand once you dump out all your lands into play. But anyway, this card is played in over 50% of all Necrobloom, Omnath, and Flubs decks, as these are all commanders that can really take advantage of landfall triggers or emptying your hand. Additionally, commanders like Muldrotha really love this enchantment, as you can use its ability to play a land from your graveyard once your commander is on the battlefield. If you want to check out my Muldrotha video, here's the thumbnail, check it out, watch it, I'll link it up here somewhere, but yeah, check it out, really good one. Edge of Eternity has also made this card really relevant, as they printed so many cool and interesting lands and reprinted old ones that we haven't really seen in a while. Now let's take a look at the actual set that this card is from. Conspiracy, which came out in 2014, was one of the first ever multiplayer draft sets which Wizards released way back when to test the waters after their small success of a format called Commander. Conspiracy Draft starts off relatively the same as your normal draft. Each player opens one of 3 booster packs, drafts one of cards into their pool, and then passes it on. Once you finish drafting and build your deck, you split up your pod into 2 tables of 4, where it's essentially the commander game, 1v1v1v1. However, in addition to all that, each pack also contains something called a conspiracy card. This is where the charm of the set really comes in. A conspiracy card, sometimes which have really baffling effects, start in your command zone and provide an effect such as creating tokens or putting you first in the turn cycle. Some conspiracy cards also have something called a hidden agenda, allowing you to start with them in the command zone face down and then flipping them at any time. For example, immediate action is a hidden agenda card which says, start the game with this conspiracy card face down in the command zone and secretly choose a card name. You may turn the conspiracy card face up for any time and reveal that name. Creatures you control of the chosen name have haste. In a draft format, when it's not singleton and you have multiple copies of one creature, this card's actually not that bad, especially seeing that it's not really taking away from anything else in your deck. What we did when we drafted it was we all drew on the cards the name of the creature to like have like a trust thing, and also it's more of like a memory after we finished playing that's what the card did, which I thought was really cool. I was actually fortunate enough to do a conspiracy draft that was organized by the Casual Compliance boys about 6 months ago as part of a content piece, and I had an absolute blast. The highlight of the day for me was this card called Infectious Horror, a creature that drained the entire table with every attack, which was so underrated. I think I had like 3 of them in the deck, I don't even remember now. At the end of the day, my deck also went 2-0, so I was pretty happy with my performance. We also ended up doing a giant 8-player game to finish the night, which was also hilarious, and I would highly recommend checking out their video, and I'll link it down in the description. It was such a unique experience, and it's really different, especially if you're an experienced drafter. It's just really different from what you're usually used to, and it was just a fun, like really social way to enjoy the game. I also reached out to the artist. I can't pronounce this name, so I'm sorry, Mr. Florian, but yeah, I also reached out to the artist to learn more about the story behind his artwork, and he eventually emailed me back saying I could talk to him next year. And so, yeah, I guess we're not really going to learn more about what he was doing, but yeah, it looks cool, I guess. Cool, nice. All right, moving on. So yeah, that's a little bit of history about Explore and one of the coolest draft experiences I've ever had in my life. Thank you so much to Casual Compliance for organizing this draft way back when, and thank you everyone else for rocking up. I honestly had a really big blast, and I'll tag Casual Compliance and their video in the description. You should definitely check it out. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what you think. Tell me if you've ever done a conspiracy draft before, or if it was just some dog shit format that you didn't like. But yeah, otherwise I'll see you in the next one. Peace.